Mother was in the advanced stage of gastric cancer. Her biggest wish before she died was to see me and Bradley get married. He couldn't resist my repeated pleadings and finally agreed to marry me, but he suddenly disappeared on the wedding day, and my mother died with regret that night. The next day, his childhood sweetheart Kiana posted a photo of the two of them on Instagram. Imposing won't bring happiness in his heart, I am the only one. My relatives and friends were all comforting me. I wiped my tears and commented, "Congratulations, a bitch and an asshole, may you live forever." I didn't cry or make a fuss, I just handled my mother's funeral alone silently. In fact, I was not surprised at all that Bradley left me for Kiana. After being together with him for 5 years, Kiana could always take him away from me at any time with just one phone call. I didn't even want to know what happened this time. After my mother's funeral, I went back home. Bradley was not there, and I didn't want to see him either. Unexpectedly, when I packed my luggage and was about to leave, I saw Kiana walking in with Bradley. He was stunned for a moment when he saw me, then he glanced at the suitcase in my hand and frowned unconsciously. "Nicole, what are you doing?" His tone sounded as if I was being unreasonable. Kiana smiled at me innocently, but she held onto Bradley tightly as if to declare her sovereignty. "Nicole, I'm so sorry. My hand was cut that day, and Bradley came to take care of me. I didn't know it was your wedding day." I looked at her and saw a small band-aid on her left index finger. So this was the reason why Bradley left me and didn't attend the wedding. I suddenly felt ridiculous. In his heart, my mother and I were not as important as Kiana's finger. "Bradley, I want to break up with you." The moment my mother died in my arms, all the love I had for him was gone. But Bradley thought I was jealous of Kiana. "Nicole, can you be more sensible? We can have the wedding at any time." But Kiana was injured. I couldn't just ignore it. "Could you be more sensible?" This was what Bradley had said to me the most. But what should I do could be considered sensible? Because Bradley said Kiana was his sister, I allowed a third person to exist in our love. I allowed him to carry medicine with him for Kiana, to run to another woman without hesitation when I needed him the most, to let her occupy half of his heart. But my sensible only gained their increasing harm. I had enough of this kind of life. I looked at Bradley coldly. "You can do whatever you want in the future. I won't care anymore." After saying that, I pulled my luggage past him. Bradley finally noticed that something was wrong with me and pulled me back. "Was your mom dissatisfied with what happened that day?" I can explain to her. I suddenly felt so ridiculous. It had been so many days. If he had cared about me a little and asked me once, he would not have said such stupid words. I pried his hand away. "There's no need." I had always been cautious, gentle, and ingratiating myself with Bradley, and had never been as indifferent as I am now. Bradley looked at my back, his eyes stunned for a moment. After coming to his senses, he was about to chase after me, but was stopped by Kiana. "Bradley, this is not your fault. If her mother hadn't pretended to be sick, how could you have been forced to marry her?" I felt like something exploded in my head. Before I realized, I had already slapped Kiana in the face. Bradley, who originally felt guilty towards me, suddenly changed his expression. He subconsciously protected Kiana behind him. His eyes were cold. "Nicole, what are you doing?" I glared at Kiana. "You'd better keep your mouth clean." Kiana was aggrieved. Was I wrong? If your mother hadn't pretended to be sick and threatened Bradley, how could he marry you? I looked at Bradley. "Do you think so too?" He didn't answer, but I got the answer from his eyes. Half a year ago, my mother was diagnosed with advanced gastric cancer. She knew she didn't have much time left, and her greatest wish before she died was to see me marry the person I loved and have a good husband. In order to let my mother rest in peace, I begged Bradley desperately and even knelt down in front of him to ask for this wedding. But he thought my mother was pretending, just to force him to marry me. Maybe he always looked down on me from the bottom of his heart.